Okay. Um,
Are we on?
yeah. Welcome
Hi.
back. We're live from Spain with Colin Rivas. We have 30 minutes, and this is the most expansive, and I think the most, in a way, moving the needle thesis about the electromagnetic origin of what we can call COVID. And it reminds me of when they first started with Angels Cannot Play This Harp. So over to you, Colin.
Hello, everyone. And first of all, I just want to say Happy Constitution Day for all North Americans that are watching, Americans, whatever. Yeah. And I want to say hi and thank you to Alfred for inviting me back again on the show. I'm actually in Portugal, but well, that's the Iberian Peninsula. It doesn't matter. That's like Canada and United States, more or less. Oriented to the north, but that's okay. And we're gonna talk about harp. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to be pedantic in a way or anything. I mean, I'm not an expert or a specialist about this. I just thought about these. I've been thinking about this for a while about the harp because I talked to some doctors and they've been telling me for a while that some people near antennas, not necessarily antennas that they are five gates. We're gonna call it five gates. Five galinas, like we say in Spanish, gallina, the chick. So I will use the code word gates. You know, five gates. Yeah. So not necessarily because, as you guys know, not all of the countries have five gates in their countries. It hasn't been installed yet. And you have countries like, for example, Sweden, in which they have a very small array of antennas. Usually, these antennas are actually well dispersed. They're strewn on the field. So that's why they probably have fewer casualties than other countries. Besides, they didn't lock down either. But when you come to antennas and all these HARP and DEW question, is very complicated because very few people know about these. And when you search stuff, it's very, very complex to actually understand how these things work and how you can learn something because you don't have any teachers or professors or whoever from a university or college or from a YouTube tutorial or whatever that they can teach you about this. So you have to learn on your own. You have to do a lot of interviews, call a lot of people, and get emails, back and forth and stuff. But everyone knows HARP is a bit of like an offshoot of whatever Nikola Tesla built many years ago back in New York, and we're talking about electromagnetic waves that they can achieve many different things. So if we're talking about HARP is located in many countries, right? So HARP is not only located in United States. In United States, probably where you guys have most HAARP. You can look for this word. You can Google it, HAARP, or DEW. DEW. This is about electromagnetic or energy weapons. Yeah, systems. Yeah. And in fact, Donald Trump was talking about this kind of energy weapons 2 days ago. And somebody sent me something today about Chinese also. China and Russia, they have also weaponized space, according to the Secretary of Defense, the American one. Yeah. Okay. Mark Esper. He just said it a few hours ago. Moscow and Beijing, they have turned space into something weaponized, and for a battlefield. So things like these electromagnetic and energy weapons that are coming out now. Just funnily enough, after the Corona circus, we're going to use another code word: circus and Corona circus. Yeah, so we don't get banned by YouTube or anyone, of this nature. Yeah, and like I said, HARP is in many places. In China, you have a lot of HARP stations. There are different arrays, different even shapes. That you have some geometric shapes, even some beehive. That I've seen on the satellite. You can see this and Google up. You put HARP all the new HARP systems or whatever, and you have loads of videos in Spanish or English, and it shows you all the different locations, not only in Alaska, you have also in California, Arizona, whatever. You also have in Germany, you have a few of them. You have in the United Kingdom, you also have this array of HARP antennas or energy weapons in Australia. You actually have 4 or 5 locations. I don't remember now exactly if they're 4 or 5. I think they're 4, but you can see them some through Google, and some they've been, let's say, erased off or blurred also from the Google Map app. So you can go and check them out. Now, basically, this was intended to be used as an energy weapon to be ionized in space, the ionosphere, and also it was a military effort centered on the weather or climate manipulation. Yeah, all this global intervention with the electrostatic field and other systems. They're very sophisticated, and they can change not only climate, but if you point towards the clouds, also you can make rain and a wide range of things, right? And I hope our listeners or viewers, they probably, even some people, they're specialists or they know about this and they read books about this. If they're watching, you can contact me or Alfred, and we can actually talk about this, because I want to learn things. How did I get to this conclusion that maybe there's some kind of electromagnetic battle going on between some countries or some deep state guys here on Earth, and they are bouncing back and forth, from the ionosphere, the atmosphere, down to antennas. Not necessarily the 5 gates. It could be 4-gate antennas, 3-gate. It can be radio antennas. It could be TV antennas also, placed in some places, and irradiate this kind of whatever, and get people sick, sick with the symptoms of the corona circus. Again, code word, corona circus. Yes, circus and corona, because I can't say the word. Always we get this banned by people. And for these, you have to check out, I think it's the SCCI, whether it's the NASA or the MORPH microwave climate website, in which you can see some of the electromagnetic, signatures there from, to 2017, 2018, 2019. But suddenly 2019, around July, August, when you go to archive, they've been deleted. I can't find them. If somebody is able to show me that they are there, the electromagnetic signatures from the microwave morph, climate website, that is always there, the mimic real-time website that is active now and is working real time. Then you can contact me and send them to me, and I'll take a look. Or you tell me, well, there's nothing going on around. But I tell you more. So from 2019 August to July, I couldn't find any electromagnetic signatures or any waves or anything going on the site, whether it's real time or the pictures. Normally you have some pictures posted there, like the anomaly that was there from 2017 from Antarctica. There was an anomaly. Electromagnetic signature is visible coming out of Antarctica, for example. So there must be some station there too. I'm just like speculating here, So, and then you have all, since September, we've been having all these towers being burned, and they've been blaming conspiracy theorists, the extreme right wing now, the alt-right is burning towers. I don't know why, because I know I got a lot of fellows there in the conspiracy world, and they're not necessarily right wing. Some of them they're liberal, or they're left wing, or anarchist, or whatever, And I don't see these people doing, getting up on a four gates antenna, or 5-gate antenna somewhere in England or Spain or Portugal, or USA for the matter, and burn them down. First, because you cannot get too close to these antennas, even the radio signal antennas, because you would basically as soon as you approach one of these antennas, you start getting symptoms like headache, and then if you're too close, all the electricity, it can damage you, it can harm you. You have, people that they normally deal with these antennas, they switch them off first before they get on the antenna, to fix it or whatever. But also these antennas, they're very high, some of them, so they're very tall and very high. So you need like a crane or like a big, one of these big trucks that they have cranes or whatever to get up there, and you can see pictures of people getting up there, on 4-gate antennas, to fix things, or any radio signal antennas or TV antennas, just to fix, through a crane, via trucks and whatever. So it would take you a long time. I mean, you cannot just chuck, gasoline or petrol at the antenna and just burn it. And you see these antennas actually being burned from the inside to the outside. So it means that there was some kind of overtension, overstress on the antenna from some kind of electric or electromagnetic pulse. That's my idea. And they just blew. Most of them since September. And you can hear people. I have talked to people from France, people from the UK, England, Scotland, even the US. Even you have these recent fires in Portland, in Oregon, in California, whatever, that they're very strange. Some of them, they could have been planted by liberals or whatever, the Antifa or BLM or whatever. But these are small fires. But I'm talking about big fires and some of the towers that they also burned during the past week. So I've seen this kind of coming from an electromagnetic signature too. I mean, I just got something like this. Let me see if you can see it. And you can see it here. I don't know if you're watching it.
Yes, we can see it. You can see that.
See the pulse? See the pulse?
Yeah.
The bang. Yeah, you see that?
Yes, we can see that pulse.
That's the electromagnetic pulse coming from somewhere, and it's not from America. So that is from somewhere. If it's whether a satellite or, I don't know, another country, like, chucking that kind of plasma ray or whatever you call it, or electromagnetic wave, I don't know. But as soon as as time progresses, the fire gets more and more, there you can see it, gets what was the word? I can't find the word, but it starts burning more and more. Yeah. And it doesn't seem like somebody just threw a drone there and the drone went around, chucking, gas with fire or sulfur or some of these little balls, with magnesium sulfate or something like that. This electromagnetic pulse, right? And then we have these events happening since September with animals. You probably, Alfred, heard about these. You probably read it on the media, yeah? You probably read 300 elephants, they just, dropped dead in Africa. A flock of birds in Wales just, dropped dead too. Autopsies were performed on several of the birds. Any kind of virus was ruled out, and it just seems that like a lightning or something. Most of these events, they say it's lightning, but it's not. It's not the medical and the diagnostics and the effects don't match a case of lightning. Besides, there were many flocks, also fish. Lightning normally doesn't strike fish. So you got fish in Tarragona in Spain, fish in Portugal. But we're talking about lots of fish. I mean, we're talking about thousands of fish, found on, for example, a fish farm, or what do you call it? I got some pictures here, but they're not coming out. See, when you have something here ready, but it doesn't come out, and I'm going to show something else too. Hold on. Let me show something else. But you got fish, large fish also, 7-8 feet fish, coming off the water, dead, stranded, beached on Miami, for example, on Miami Beach and near, coastal beaches, whatever, cities, etc. Then you have fish in Tarragona, in Barcelona, in the Mediterranean, in Malta, in France, dead fish appearing, and as you know, animals, they're the first that are very hypersensitive to all these, climate changes, electromagnetism and stuff. Also, from September onwards, and even before, but it started happening also during the lockdown, whether you were in Canada, the US, Europe, whatever. Tesla cars, electric cars, electronic cars burning. They blame the battery, but it was isolated. Normally if you have something, something wrong with the battery, it would be the whole chain of cars. And this happened in different places near antennas too. So the Tesla cars suddenly blew up. Many people, specialists, experts, they blame the battery for some reason. They say, well, there might be some fault with the battery and it just burned. But it happened to scooters. It happened to a lot of electronic devices. I had a fella from France, from Carcassonne, telling me that he doesn't live very far from a big antenna, a 4G antenna, I think. And he told me that that suddenly the telephone, the mobile phone, the TV, everything just not blew, but it started malfunctioning all at the same time. Even he had the washing machine going on and suddenly stopped. It disconnected the electricity and whatever. So these pulses, they might happen, once, irradiate, to the antenna some kind of, I don't know, 300 gigahertz or something. Because as you know, 3 gates, 4 gates, 5 gates, they have, up to, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think it's gigahertz, that they're not as dangerous unless you're exposed to these for a long time and you're very close, obviously. But if you're far, you shouldn't have a problem. You should be interacting with your phones and electronics fine, and the antenna perhaps is some kind of health or whatever. But when you have a lot of arrays of antennas and they're not spread out too much and they're more together, perhaps you start having problems, even because of this irradiation of things. We talk about the towers. I want to also talk about the this that happened in China a few months back. I think it's 2-3 months back. They said it was lightning, but this seems like some kind of also weaponry. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we can see that.
And you see that this is like splitting some building there. Mostly buildings, if it's just lighting, they have some kind of anti-lighting antennas and stuff. I never seen a building going all, in flames, because of lightning. I never seen that. I mean, perhaps a tree, whatever. And you also have, like you walk around, the countryside, and you walk around your town, and you can get struck by lightning, but you're not very tall. I mean, the physical principle says that the taller you are, the more chance you have to get struck by lightning, right? So they tell you don't go under trees, don't go under antennas and things that they spike out, whatever. But sometimes lightning catches you, even though there's like other metal things that are taller than you, higher than you, the trees, whatever. So this can be something that not necessarily you're close to an antenna, but you can probably go past an antenna that's I don't know, 500 yards, 1 mile, but the electromagnetic pulse goes there, and for some reason it catches you just in the middle. So some people got sick even just walking the dog around because they were outside of their area, and the next area where they stroll the dog, they had some antennas there. So you start getting these symptoms then, and so I'm trying to go fast here because I know, Alfred, we have 30 minutes, and you tell me when we have to
we
cut
have
it
about
off.
10 minutes left.
Okay, so good. Now, these are some of the symptoms here. I got these from this excerpt from No Place to Hide from April 2001. Some expert, drew these because of the Russians. The Russians, they test a lot of people with microwave, electromagnetic waves and stuff like that in Siberia, whatever. I guess the Americans did the same. but this comes more from the Russian part. And he says here, for example, neurological. So you're gonna see that it's similar to the Corona circus. I cannot say the name. I can say C 1984 because this is a communist virus that spreads through the C 1984, like I call it. All these restrictive measures in Canada, in the United States. You have to wear all these things, in your head and stuff. These the mask and whatever. Yeah. So neurological effects of these electromagnetic, microwave. It's called microwave symptoms of radio wave sickness or microwave sickness that the Russians tested, in the 70s and 80s. He says neurological headaches, dizziness, nausea, difficulty concentrating, memory loss, irritability, depression, anxiety, insomnia, fatigue, weakness, tremors, muscle spasms, numbness, tingling, altered reflexes, muscle and joint pain, leg foot pain, flu-like symptoms, fever. More severe reactions can include seizures, paralysis, psychosis, or stroke. We've seen these, some of the media reporting this type of symptoms that it seems strange with the virus, but it can be this, Then cardiac effects, cardiac symptoms, palpitations, arrhythmia, pain or pressure in the chest, low and high blood pressure, slow, fast heart rate, shortness of breath. We get into respiratory breathing, symptoms. Sinusitis. Sinusitis has to do with your nose, and normally you have mucus and snot and a lot of boogers there, and you can't breathe. It's like when you have an allergy to pollen or something, Bronchitis, pneumonia, asthma, that's respiratory wise. Dermatologically speaking, skin rash, itching, burning, facial flushing. So this is very interesting because the Russians tested also, I don't know if they tested children, but they said children, they were 3 or 4 times less sensitive to electromagnetic waves than adults. So the adults, with this Corona circus thing, they've been getting sick, they've been getting clots in the blood and all these symptoms too. But the children normally they got skin rashes. That was a very common at the beginning. In China, for example, in November, December, January, February, the Chinese kids, they start developing some symptoms with rashes, skin rashes, and itching, but nothing else. No, nothing beyond that. Same in Europe, same in America. March, April, through May. American children, European children, some of them, a very, very small part of population, obviously, because most of them, they live in cities. That doesn't mean they're near antennas. Also, you have to see that if you Google up antennas, check out antennas, the countries that have most antennas, and you see Russia, United States, you see France, you see UK, United Kingdom, you see Italy, you see Germany, you see Spain, and you see China. Overall, Wuhan, they actually is the only place in the whole wide world that they have the most 5 gates, antenna array. China, in a lot of parts of China, they also started getting sick with, skin rashes and other things like, blood clots and stuff, right? So what I'm saying here is that this research points out to 50, 60, and older, they're very hypersensitive to electromagnetic waves. People, below 50 range and children, whatever, unless they're very close to an antenna, and they are very close when the pulse, if there's a pulse coming because there's something going on up there that we don't know about. And I couldn't, verify all this information. It's just a hypothesis, but it's interesting. That's why nobody thought about this. They only think about heart or DW when there's like a UFO coming and they shoot the UFO, or when there's some climate change thing going on, they manipulate the weather. But they never thought about, virus symptoms or symptoms of radio wave sickness, right? And ophthalmologically speaking, you also have, the typical conjunctivitis thing. It says here, pressure in behind the eyes, some deteriorating vision, yeah. And this has been happening, again, the media, whether it's CNN, Fox, CNBC, MSNC, American Patriots, whatever, they've been given some of these symptoms occurring to people, right? And rather than having like actually a virus, inside you, maybe this is external. It's not, something internal. That's what I'm saying. And other digestive problems like abdominal pain. Remember when you have radiation and you watch these in movies, like submarine movies, that Russian submarine movie, that there's some nuclear weapons and they leak, the radiation leaks in the submarine. They start vomiting first and then having, diarrhea, and they're just getting very sick and boom, and dropping dead. So this is the same, one of the first symptoms when the people had this corona circus at the very beginning, it was actually vomiting, getting there and vomiting, having strokes, having digestive system problems, pain, gastroenteritis. Why? Because you have a lot of bacteria and viruses in your respiratory system and in your digestive system. And that's where the electromagnetic or radiation, attacks the most there, And then one very symptom that it was compatible with the C1984, like they call it, the Chinese virus, the China virus, is the losing of smell, you lose the sense of smell, and you dehydrate also, and sometimes even you have internal bleeding, but the sense of smell, losing the sense of smell, this is very related to some kind of radiation. It doesn't really go with viruses unless you have like the flu or you have some cold or something. Of course, you cannot smell because you have some plugged nose there, and you just have to sneeze and all the time. But that doesn't mean that you lose the whole sense of smell, I mean, when you go to a gas station, a petrol station, whatever you call it in your country, yeah. So you can smell the gasoline, yeah. But with this thing, you cannot. Even perfume is really hard to make it, to tell the difference, yeah. But here in my hypothesis, I have 2-3 points. One point, like I said before, also there was some boycott, there was some sabotage with Tesla rockets going off to space. I don't know if it's something going on about this. I checked that some satellites, they've been also disabled. I'm going to talk satellites, whether it be American satellites, China, Russia, or the Five Eyes. The Five Eyes is these 5 countries. They have satellites, England, New Zealand, Australia, America, Canada. Yeah. And second thing, they're testing these antennas, the 5-gate antennas with the 4-gate, and they're checking, I don't know, the frequency or something, and maybe they put too much frequency on these through the HARP or through some system or something, and that's made people sick also, and this is all like a cover up, the China virus, and they cover up with the China virus with the C1984. And just in the meantime, they restrict all our liberties and stuff. Or it's something that they try to manipulate, whether they put too much, I don't know, power on it or force. I'm just saying here, it might be a spectrum of different possibilities, Alfred. What do you think after my dissertation here, my monologue?
Yeah, well, I think it's very, very plausible because over the past 10 years with a whistleblower scientist from a nuclear lab in the Bay Area, Dr. Loren Murray, who was an expert on HARP. We did a whole series of exposés on HARP, which is a weapon that it weaponizes the entire ionosphere. It makes the entire Earth ionosphere, which is the uppermost layer of the Earth until you reach outer space. It makes the entire Earth and ionizes it, the whole ionosphere. And it makes that the weapon so that it can actually reach even an individual, any place on Earth. It is the most amazing thing. You can actually reach an individual anywhere on Earth, so that one can transmit electromagnetic frequencies that are the exact symptoms of the corona party,
Yes.
you know, and the corona circus.
Yes.
And so you can actually then target cities and have them have the corona circus. You can target states. You can target nations and have them have the corona circus. You can target regions and have them have the corona circus. Look, you have China, which is the most populated region on Earth, and its death now it's down to practically zero on deaths. And yet you go to the United States and its death total is very high. And it goes back and forth. Why? Because they may be fiddling with the targeting of the corona circus from the ionosphere, because what they're doing is mimicking the frequency of the symptoms of the corona circus, because scientifically it has never been proven that there is a virus called COVID 1984. And I have to say this, that I have a certificate in community health from the Harvard School of Public Health. So I'm not a complete nincompoop, and I have some authority speaking here. And it's a great privilege to have this thesis brought out. And it hasn't been emphasized long enough. And it's actually much more logical than the 5 gates thesis is the heart thesis, because you just weaponize the entire ionosphere, and then you just play the Earth like a piano, and you just begin
different frequencies.
Yeah, and you can actually target neighborhoods and cities. You can target ethnics. You can target races. You can target regions, and you can make the quote virus that never stops giving when there is no virus, as in the case of the COVID 1984, which has never been proven. And this is a great boondoggle.
Yeah, and the isolation from China and the gene bank is very suspicious, because it does not explain how they did the test. What kind of?
Could you put that picture?
Yeah, I'm taking it from a video from Mundo Desconocido that he did a fantastic program on HARP in different locations.
Those are HARP signatures. So, So you can see that the HARP signatures can correspond to the coronavirus party signatures also.
Yeah.
So I think it's brilliant. Now, we're about 4 minutes overtime.
Yeah, we got to shoot.
If people want to follow your work, where should they go?
They should go to colinrivas.com. That is COLINRIVAS, colinrivas.com, or Colin Rivas Show. The thing is that my YouTube main channel, well, I've had so far 3 or 4 channels, they've been eliminated, so this is my very latest one. And if you can't find me because they have eliminated this one, I have 3 strikes already, so I have like a 1-month suspension, but they're not about to eliminate it, I think. However, you can go to Colin Rivas Experience. Colin Rivas Experience, that's COLIN, separate, Rivas, RIVAS, Experience, like Jimi Hendrix Experience. Jimmy, oh, great, Jimmy. Jimi Hendrix, Purple Haze, and the Jimi Hendrix Experience, the Colin Rivas Experience. Or you go just to my Twitter, at Colin Rivas, and you shoot me anything there. I'm more than happy to talk to anybody. And again, happy Constitution Day. My Uncle Donald is going to say something because he's sending you an electromagnetic wave of happiness.
And yes, together we will make
deliver
America
the galactic
great again.
demons from hell.
Thank you very much. And I just want to remind people that this show, the archives, will be up later on TrueTube at NewTube, which is non-censored. So we had to do all the word magic with the Corona Party.
Corona Party,
Right
Corona
here,
Service.
and now we're going to do the Spanish version en español. Hasta
Sí, señor.
luego.
Hasta luego, señores. Adiós. Haz América grande otra vez.